Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Transport Fever Blitz. I'm your host, Orbital Potato, and as we fly across the luscious Welsh valleys at 4 times speed, I thought I'd catch you up with exactly where we are. So, I've let the game run for a couple of years, I believe, in 4 times speed. Nothing much really happened other than the fact that we didn't get very much money. So, thankfully, I've hit up my contact in the government, and they've managed to send me some mysterious pile of money that they just happen to have lying around. Not entirely sure where it came from, but they said it's got something to do with pork. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't care. Money is money is money. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in this episode. So, the primary focus of the primary focus of this episode is to expand our train network to the west. So we are going to be building along the historic Great Western Railway. Starting off at Paddington, we will progress out to Reading, and then on to Swindon. And then, well, there's a bunch of other trains on the actual line, but the next one for us is Bristol. And then we're going to be coming across the river into Cardiff. And that's the Great Western Railway, a historic Great Western Railway, plus a little bit extra. So that's what we're going to do, and all of that is with a view to transporting steel to Luton Steel Mill, so we're also going to need to build a little bit of a railway up to Luton. I hope you enjoy, folks. Sit back, enjoy this episode of Transport Fever Blitz. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it was very good of the government to decide. At the last minute, they stepped up and submitted some funding to me. It was very, very good of them to do. They've funded me to the tune of $4 million dues with a view to constructing the Great Western Railway, which is actually a historical railway that came into being round about now, actually. Round about the 1850s, the Great Western Railway was linked up from subsequent smaller railways, I believe. So yeah, there we go. We're going to be historically accurate, at least in part of what we do. Anyway, let's talk about what we're gonna do first. Well, the aim of the game today is to try and link up the Cardiff Steel Mill and the Luton Machine Factory. It's quite clear that we can make quite a lot of money if we could only link up those two facilities. However, there is somewhat of a problem there, and that problem is that there is no in real life direct rail link between Luton and Cardiff. So, as I was mentioning there, historically, the Great Western Railway runs from Paddington in London, which is in the west of London. It then goes to Reading. It then goes to Swindon, and then up to Bristol. There's also a little branch as well that branches from the track between Reading and Swindon up to Oxford. So, Oxford is definitely on the route, so to speak. It's just it's on its own little branch. So anyway, yes. So that's where the Great Western Railway goes. The Great Western Railway doesn't even actually, or at this time anyway, in the 1850s, it didn't actually extend into Wales. Although now the Great Western Railway does actually extend into Wales. It goes past Bristol, and it goes all the way over to Cardiff. And then I think it goes all the way over to Swansea. Yep, and maybe even over to Milford Haven. Well, if it doesn't, then it gets pretty darn close. But anyway, it goes at least all the way to Swansea. So that is where the current day Great Western Rail actually goes. But as I say, our objective is purely to try and connect up the steel producer and the steel consumer in this episode. So that is exactly what we're going to try and do. And the good news is that whilst we're accomplishing a mini objective, we are also going to be accomplishing a bigger objective, which is of course to replicate to roughly replicate sort of the infrastructure on the United Kingdom. So without further ado, let's actually get cracking. So, Paddington Station, as I mentioned, is in the west of London. It's a passenger station, and it deals with a whole bunch of trains coming and going, specifically to the west and northwest, I believe, of England and the United Kingdom. So, that's what we're going to do. However, there is going to be one slight exception to all of that information that I just gave you. In real life, as I said, Paddington is a passenger station. However, in this game, or in this playthrough, should I say, we are actually going to make Paddington a freight station, and I'll explain exactly why we're going to do that right now. If we take a little look at the land use overlay, you can see that this area here is very, very well suited to a freight terminal station, because it's so close to a whole bunch of commercial and industrial buildings. Now, in saying that, it's not gonna work perfectly, but I still think we're probably best just having Paddington as a freight station, and just dealing with the vast majority of passenger transport out of the London station, which I am actually going to rename King's Cross. King's Cross needs a little apostrophe there, but King's Cross is indeed going to be our main passenger transport system. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think I'm pretty darn happy with that. We've got £4 million to spend, so it's not like we're short on cash. So let's go ahead and zone out where we want Paddington to be. Now, I'm quite keen to have Paddington be a relatively expandable station. So that's why it needs to be in this orientation, because I really want to be able to, absolutely make it the maximum possible length when, of course, we get to the stage where we're going to be using maximum length trains. We want to be able to do that. We also want to be able to bump it all the way up to 8 tracks as well. Oh, goodness gracious me. I mean, it's a fairly affordable price for what is an absolutely gargantuan station. I mean, maybe we just place just like a massive station right now. I mean, it is quite a lot of money. What if I just place an 8 track station? I mean, it's 8 tracks, 8 times the track for only 4 times the price. That's a bargain if ever I saw one. I feel like this is sort of a classic Orbital Potato move, biting off far too much. Far too much. More than I can chew is the turn of phrase that I should be using here. Yeah, so what I'm thinking of is I'm going to try and demolish these 2 houses right here. You know what? Let's make it a big old road. Let's make it a big old road, and let's bring that right up there. I don't love the fact that this is going to cost £500,000, just literally straight off the bat. I don't love that at all, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk it for a chocolate biscuit. And we're going to see if we can put this right about there. I mean, to be honest, it's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. I don't really think that we're going to be able to get much better than that. I think it gives us a few... Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I think that's pretty darn good. It doesn't cover as many industrial buildings as I would like, but that's all right. We can address that perhaps with another sort of south of London train station. Yeah, I know this is a bit ridiculous. This is absolutely a bit ridiculous, but rest assured, eventually one day it will come in handy. Okay. Anyway, so that's at one end of the line. That's what we've got over there. We're also going to want to head on all the way over to this area. And we're going to want to make sure that we've got the appropriate infrastructure over here as well to receive all of the products from the Cardiff steel mill. Now, this cannot be a terminal station over here because, as I have already mentioned, we're going to want to connect up a line to Cardiff. So I'm thinking something like this. If we swing it around, in fact, that would be pretty much ideal. That would be absolutely incredible, actually, if we could get that right there. Okay, let's put that right there, and then we sort of have a little look at what we've got. I mean, I'm not really certain how I want to do the train stations. I feel like if I'm gonna do the government justice, you know, if I'm gonna spend my rapidly dwindling £4 million on anything, it better be a comprehensive service. So I feel like I should probably install passenger stations at all of the towns that I'm going to. Maybe I won't install one at Oxford, given that that's not really an expansion that I care about. But you know, hey ho. All right, Reading's going to be fairly easy to get a station in, given that it's not a not a very congested area. I tell you what, though, it would be better if we could put a terminal station in here. Goodness gracious me. Can I have a look at the topographical map, please? Oh, blimey. That's quite something. Right, let's swing that around and see if we can do that. Residential, I mean, the only houses are over here anyway, and we're going to be doing residential. This is we're going to put a passenger line in there. Perfect. Oxford definitely could do with a passenger service. Now, I have an idea here. Now, Oxford, I believe, can be a terminal station, given that the branch will come up to Oxford and terminate. I mean, we might choose to amend that in the future, but I think for now, we'll just keep it as a relatively reasonably small terminal station over here. And ideally, we could get away with destroying one building and encompassing the vast majority of residential properties. I mean, it's a pretty good gig, to be honest. One building will be removed. I mean, that you cannot actually do any better than that. I said that I wasn't going to build Oxford, and yet I just went and did it. Wow, what a guy. I clearly am determined to deliver value for money for this government, which is like, I suppose, a good thing. Maybe they'll renew my contract. I say renew my contract. Maybe they'll give me more money. Right, now, that would be an ideal train station, actually. That would be truly an ideal train station. In fact, I've got an even better idea. It is going to take a little bit of demolition work, but I think that is going to be, on the whole, a very, very worthwhile endeavor. And, you know, don't get me wrong, the government has given me permission to do this because it's an important bit of infrastructure. Yeah, I mean, I want to try and get some sort of you know, like through Swindon route going on here. Now, my initial thought was, can I get a station right here and then get it to sort of come down this way? But then that's going to bulldoze a whole heck of a lot of prime real estate. I don't really want to do that. However, I don't think I really have much of a choice. Right. I mean, the height differential is quite large as well there. Okay. Yeah, that puts me in a little bit of a pickle, to be honest. I didn't really anticipate Swindon being the largest problem of them all, but apparently it is. I mean, what we can always do is we could always put a terminal station in Swindon and then just drive it out. Just drive in, drive out sort of thing. Right. Decision made. That's exactly what we're going to do. Because that is, I mean, quite literally the most optimal station in the world. I mean, it pretty much covers absolutely everything. So let's get that placed as well. I mean, wow. Our finances are, you could say dwindling. You absolutely could say dwindling. If you wanted to be a pessimist, I, ever an optimist, choose to be optimistic. All right, final station, or final passenger station, or actually penultimate passenger station, as we should probably terminate the route at Cardiff. I say terminate the route. Terminate the current route. We might be able to squeeze out a few extra bob from the government if if they want us to go all the way down to Swansea. Honestly, thinking that this might be the best bet that we've got. I don't really want to put the station into a hill. So for that reason, it might straight up just be worth us doing something like this. 2 buildings, ditching 2 buildings. I mean, ditching 2 buildings isn't bad. I think that is what the cost is going to be. However, we may be able to do something slightly better than that. If I was to take that out there, medium street. Right. Give that a crack. And yeah, you know what? That's a pretty darn good job right there. I'll take that. Right. And there we go. So I'm very, very hopeful, actually, that we're going to be able to get a track in here. Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect. We'll be able to get a track in there, and we can sort of skip past all of the houses. And just like that, what do you know? We've managed to add a whole bunch of extra passenger stations onto the line. How could I forget, though? How could I forget the passenger station in Cardiff? And that is actually going to go there, and that's going to be the end of the line for the moment. But of course, the line is going to snake all the way down to Swansea in due course. All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty much that. Of course, this line doesn't have. I mean, it does have the capacity to be used as a passenger line at the moment, but of course, Paddington isn't fitted out to be a passenger line. So, you know what? Humor me for a second here. If I was to have 2 Paddingtons, I mean, how atrocious an idea would that be? Unbelievably, I actually think that it might be quite a good idea. I would have to build those 2 buildings for the privilege of making it happen. Oh my goodness. Hold up. Hold up. If I did this, then I could effectively get a Paddington station right there. I would be remiss if I didn't take that opportunity. I mean, that is a fantastic opportunity, and that will allow us to directly connect. Okay, so let's call this one Paddington, and then we'll call this London Central. London Central, such a generic name. Such a generic name. We'll call this London Cargo Terminal 1. Where's the hash key? There we go. Terminal number 1. London Cargo Terminal number 1. So we'll get a massive, fancy rail network to split these two bits in half. But that basically equips our entire route to handle cargo and also to handle passengers. It's worth noting, I didn't mention up until now, but this cargo terminal won't obviously receive the steel directly from Cardiff. It will receive the tools and machine parts, yep, or machines, whatever the heck they're called, from Luton West. So eventually, in the second half of the episode, when we get the second line up and running to Luton and beyond, we will be able to transport the resources directly. Anyway, for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip off and I'm going to build Great Western Railway. I'll see you in a bit. Well, we got nearly to the end. We are literally about, less than 500,000 short. I think I can definitely borrow the money in order to accomplish that, just to ensure that I actually complete the contract that I had with the government to the specified standards. Of course, we want to make sure that we deliver all we possibly can. There we go. And just like that, we have finished the Great Western Railway. Now, it's important to note that this isn't the exact route that that the line takes. It's also worth noting that I have made some artistic choices. I've taken some artistic liberties, such as getting the bridge to run parallel over here. I really wanted to get the bridges to line up nicely. I don't know what it is. I just like it when I see a rail bridge and a road bridge crossing the same body of water at the same time. It's just satisfying. It's just nice. So that's why I specifically deleted this house here in order to get the railway to run along the river. But everything went pretty much according to plan. Yeah, the Swindon area was a little bit difficult given the topographical issues. Same with Oxford. I mean, we did sort of have bit of an issue, but that's not a problem. I mean, it's all it's all fixable. There we go. Just like that. I mean, spending a bit of money, but yeah, just like that, we fixed it all up, and it's all completely fine. So just like that, what do you know? We've got all of that. We've got all of that up and running. Oh, and some more great news is apparently, according to the government officials, they said that I did such a great job with the Great Western Railway that they would actually, believe it or not, fund me to put on some train services to ensure that passengers were able to follow the route from its start to its conclusion. So shortly, we're going to be introducing a service for all the way from Cardiff to Bristol to Swindon to Oxford to Reading, and then onto Paddington. So it was very nice of the government to grant me some more money. Again, they said something about I don't know what it was, some pork-related bribes, something like that. I don't quite understand how that works, but I mean, as I say, I'm happy to take the money and just roll with it. Anyway, yes, we'll set up a passenger service in just a second. However, what I would like to turn my attention to now is the Luton route. Now, as I mentioned, we still need to absolutely get a route to Luton. So, talking about what happens in the modern world, I believe it is a company called an operator called Thames Link, which provide a route to Luton, and also there is another operator that run to Luton, which is probably more relevant for our concerns, and that is the East Midlands Railway. So the East Midlands Railway passes right through Luton. It goes all the way up to Derby and Nottingham. Also branches off at Stoke-on-Trent, which is all the way up here. Yeah, Stoke-on-Trent is up here. Nottingham is over here. Leicester, it goes in past Leicester. It also branches off to go to Peterborough. Peterborough also, by the way, on the East Coast Main Line. So basically, if you imagine the route, it comes from St Pancras Station, which is right next door to King's Cross. Whether we expand King's Cross or place a separate second station, that's to be debated. But anyway, yes, as I say, it comes past Luton, up to Leicester. It doesn't, I believe, go in past Nottingham. But that's Northampton. I don't think it goes past Northampton, but that's by the by. Anyway, Leicester, Nottingham, Sheffield, And Doncaster, I think, is the highest, is the most northerly town that it actually visits. Now, the government hasn't funded the entire budget that I would need to travel all the way up to this area. What is it with me and words today? I don't know. Anyway, the government hasn't given me enough money to build enough track in order to get all the way up to Doncaster. I mean, I've already got a line servicing Doncaster anyway. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to introduce a passenger service between Luton and London, and we're also going to build the track up as far as Leicester. I think is about what the government man said to me. He says, you know what, build the track up to Leicester. We'll just call it a day. The pigs haven't been particularly porky of late, so we can't afford the full service all the way up. But you know, maybe come back in a few years' time, and we'll have some more pork subsidy to pass on to you. So that's exactly what we're going to try and do. Anyway, before we do that, I think it's probably worth us just setting up a little bit of a train service. You know what? Let's put a depot just outside London. I mean, this literally will be, as I intend it to be, the London train depot. By the way, you'll notice that everything is currently single track. That will, of course, be upgraded in due course. We're going to get the passenger engine from the period. This is actually the Great Western Rail passenger carrying train. That's just so exciting, isn't it? Very early, or I think this is... Yep. You know what? Let's get 4 carriages. I'm conscious of the fact that the East Coast Main Line has 3 carriages at the moment, and I think that we're about to hit capacity with the East Coast Main Line, so I don't really want to tempt fate and only put 3 carriages on there, even though it's going to take a little while for it to get up to speed. I get it. That's how it's gonna work. Anyway, let's call this the Great Western Rail Journey. There we go. The Great Western Rail Journey. It's an experience. It's one of these scenic trips that, you know, your grandparents go on if they want to, you know, see the countryside and relax a little bit and, you know, sip some champagne or cocktails on a dining car or whatever. I don't know. Is that something that still happens? I'd need to fact check that one. Anyway, it's a pretty simple setup. But that's just, honestly, is all that we really need. We'll just unpause briefly to have a little look at this absolute corker of a train. Emerge, and oh my goodness. What a truly, truly delightful train. Yeah, don't look at my finances too closely at the moment. It's not relevant. Not relevant at the moment. But once we fix up the steel transporting situation, we are going to be absolutely golden financially. Absolutely golden, I tell you. Absolutely golden. Right, so, yep, you're gonna just come into Paddington. I mean, you've seen a train before. You've seen the East Coast Main Line train. Works in exactly the same way. And that's just gonna trundle up and down. The Great Western Railway journey route, and it's all going to be grand. Anyway, let's start our construction of this next area. Now, I do kind of want to make a second separate station, but I really don't think that we're going to have the space to do it. I mean, if I was to put a St. Pancras in here, that would maybe be a little bit frivolous. I like frivolity. Tell you what, though, that is a bloomin' good price. I mean, do I take in the key areas? I mean, I destroy more houses, which is in itself a bad thing. However, I actually kind of dig it. I think I'm gonna do it. I think this is gonna be our St. Pancras. Yeah. There we go. St. Pancras Station. There we go. St. Pancras. Let me just double check the spelling of that. Yeah. It's spelt exactly as it sounds, which is great. Fantastic. Anyway, let's get a little chat through of our route. Now, Luton train station. Luton train station. Where is that going to be positioned? Luton train station is in quite a good place actually, because we should just be able to put a train terminal near the edge of town and have relatively few issues. I mean, literally right there would be perfect. Unless there's somewhere better. What about over here? I mean, it seems more central over here, but in saying that, you know, literally just plonking it down right over here, I think would be pretty perfect for our needs, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't take in absolutely every residential household, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. I'm just gonna do it. That's how confident I am. That is how confident I am. Now, this shouldn't be too difficult to build, but I am aware that it is slightly, ever so slightly, height differentialed. Does that make sense? I'm going to build this track here. The reason that I'm going to build it from the left outwards is because I don't want the game to expand and build over a potential area where I plan to place tracks. So for that reason, I'm going to keep this area free, and we can always just fill this area in with tracks as and when we need them, which I would wager will actually be pretty soon. I mean, once we unpause and let time flow forward, I would suspect that we're going to be making quite a lot of money quite fast. All right, so that's the Luton connection. That Luton connection is going to be great. It's actually going to mean that we can replace a whole bunch of these bus services at the moment. I mean, I think we've got 2 routes that take passengers from Luton. Oh no, we did have 2 routes and we've just cut it back down to 1. Anyway, it doesn't actually matter. Look, that's 45 people waiting at the bus stop for the London to Luton route. And I suspect that route is probably one of our most profitable. Yeah, 33,000. Now, we can really, really, really bump the finances up significantly if we transfer that to a train route. So that is going to be an immediate bonus right there, which we're going to capitalize on. Now, the route that this track takes is going to be quite important, because we are going to want to make sure, is this going to be a possible crossing here? I mean, I simply can't fathom a world where that is the easiest option. Yeah, so the height, once again, is proving to be somewhat troublesome. Right, let's keep bringing it down as much as we can. And then let's cross over there. I mean, that's pretty ideal, really. Yeah, absolutely. And bring that further out. And then let's see right over here if we can have a freight cargo station. Yep, a freight station. Just a station with a little bit of throughput as opposed to a terminal would be perfect. Let's bring that out just a smidge. And let's attach that on the end. Yeah. There we go. We'll take that back a bit. That can go there. And then we will actually also branch this off right about there, and then just rebuild that in the ditch that we've already constructed, or at least try to. There we go. So this is going to be the bypass line, which I'm sure will need amending. In fact, no, it won't need amending because we've got the second line ready to build on the appropriate side. Anyway, that doesn't particularly matter. Let's finish off the route to Leicester. Leicester is quite far away. Is there a Is there a route that is emerging right now? I don't think that there really is. If I take a quick little look at my master plan, I think it comes to the. I think it comes to the right of Northampton. I think it does anyway. Peterborough, Leicester. Yeah, sure. Let's go for that. I mean, this just highlights my atrocious, absolutely atrocious English geography right here. Actually, why would it come to the... Why would it come to the right? Why would it come to the right of Leicester? It does. Okay, I found it. I found where it is on the map. It comes like this. It comes around the edge. Comes around the edge like so. We're gonna try and replicate that as accurately as possible. I found it on the map. My English geography, as I have spoken about before, is very, very poor. Exceedingly so. My Scottish geography, on the other hand, even worse. Even worse. Can you believe it? So not only am I completely useless at giving you directions in Scotland, I'm even worse at giving you directions in England. Which wouldn't be so bad if I was good at giving directions in Scotland, but unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with the gift of directionality. But you know what? I'm gonna make up for it by trying my best to be as accurate as we possibly can. Right. I don't love the amount of dirt that I had to use there. A little bit embarrassing, but that's fine. Leicester will be a through station, I guess. There we go. That is that's pretty darn good. Now, I don't really want to go through those houses there. However, I feel like I might have to, unless I put a terminal station right here. I think I might just do that for the sake of ease. I did say that I wanted it to be a station with throughput, but apparently not. Money is more important than all else. Right. Let me go back to typography quickly. Okay. Typography. Pretty sure that's not the correct term. All right. How's that look? 270,000 to link that up. Yeah, maybe I can do a bit better than that. Yeah, I can. Okay, I just saved about 200k there, which is pretty darn good actually. And you know what? If I was the government, I'd be pretty impressed with my performance right now. Okay, so that's the well, I say that's the main bit done. I mean, that's the objectives that we really wanted to accomplish in this episode done. However, we still need to find a way for these trains to get between these lines. Now, it's not strictly possible for this to happen as far as I'm aware, but what I want to do is I want to basically have a line that connects all of the London routes together, sort of in like a circular fashion, so that there will always be the opportunity to get from one line to the other. So what I want to do is I want to have a grand old circle, so we'll be able to connect all of the routes around London with one single directional bit of track. That's my goal. That's my ambition. I don't know how realistic it is, but I presume if you really wanted to, you could probably get from a specific track in London to another specific track. I dare say that is a possibility. The point is, at the moment, this sort of circular connection track doesn't need to be single directional. It can just be, you know, from a specific track in London to another specific track. I dare say that is a possibility. The point is, at the moment, this sort of circular connection track doesn't need to be single directional. It can just be, you know, from a specific track in London to another specific track. I dare say that is a possibility. The point is, at the moment, this sort of circular connection track doesn't need to be single directional. It can just be it can just be what it is for now, and it will literally just be a connection between the Luton route and between the Great Western Rail route, specifically for the aim of linking those routes up. So I don't know. I'm pretty darn happy with that. That's pretty darn good. I mean, it's not the most direct of routes. I mean, the more direct route would probably just be from directly here to directly there, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Also, do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, you know, I've still got 1.6 million spare, and technically the government hasn't paid me for. They haven't paid me to run a Luton service, but I do want to do that. I do want to do that, and I've still got 500,000 in the bank to take. I'm just wondering, is it possible that we can just create a little bit of a shortcut over there? Because as far as I'm aware, that's still within the realm of stuff that is allowed. Since I've not really messed with this, and in fact, I think that that's probably a more accurate portrayal of the rail system if I was to go straight from here to here. Right. Let me see if this is indeed possible. I think that this might not be possible, given the finances that we have at the moment and the financial constraints. Okay, let's worry about that. Let's worry about that another time. Okay, there's two train services that I want to get sorted right now. One is a passenger service between Luton and London. Set line, new line. Luton to St. Pancras. Ah, that's so exciting. That's so exciting to see St. Pancras finally on the map. Okay, so this is Luton to London train. Keep it simple so that I don't have to worry about the naming conventions in the future. Oh no. Right, you're back in the depot. Great. I shouldn't have assigned you a line quite yet. I need to make sure that we get some passenger carriages on you. 4? Is 4 a good number? I feel that maybe 4 is slightly too many. But I guess we'll see, right? Right, Luton to London train. You should be able to just hop onto the Luton to London line and have absolutely no issues with that. We will, of course, need to dual this bit of track if we're going to have more than one train running up and down it at the same point. But that's a problem for another day. I also probably want to retire all of my London to Luton carriages, even though they are making a substantial amount of money. I guess I'll leave them on for now, but with the expectation that they will be canned pretty darn quickly. Alright, there is a little bit of a stoppage at the moment due to signaling issues, but don't let that stop you. Train, you'll do fine. Right, alright, that's great. So, I almost forgot. We have the ability. We have the ability, and indeed we have the determination to go forward and buy the appropriate goods trains and goods wagons in order to transport steel from place to place. Where is the steel wagon? The stake car, fantastic. How many of these can I buy? I think I probably just want as many as possible. I'm gonna take out another 500,000 loan. You know what? Maybe that's to my detriment, but I think that we want to transport as much steel as possible, given the circumstances, so I'm going to try and do that. Alright, let's set a line. Let's set up a brand new line. Let's get it from right over there, Cardiff Central. Yes, please. All the way over to Luton Central. And it looks like it works completely as intended. Now, we are struck with somewhat of a problem. The problem is that we will have a passenger service on this line at the same time. Have I thought about this? Not really, but we'll just go with it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as we go, and we can make plans accordingly. All right, so you're waiting for a free path. That's fine. Let's stick it in 4 times speed so that we can have a little look at exactly what's going on. I wonder how long it's going to take for this platform to become more popular than anywhere else. Okay, do you need to get all the way over here in order to work? I probably should start putting some basic signals in, but I'm not going to for now. Right, I want you to get over there. You're going to go to Luton Central. I don't really need you to go to Luton Central, so you can just go to where you need to go. And you know what? Let's put a signal in. Let's put a signal in here. I mean, I want to dual a lot of the track, but I can't really at the moment because of my financial situation, which is going to prevent this train from getting anywhere. Although it does look like when this guy pops into Oxford Street, then that should be fine. Oh, look at that! Luton has already got 2 passengers. This is very, very exciting. 2 out of 24. I'm sure it's going to be very, very popular. I look forward to seeing exactly how popular it's going to be. That's a heck of a lot of passengers over there, that's for sure. Already 2 passengers in Reading. Wowzers. I think that we may need to dual a lot of this track rather sooner than expected. I did sort of construct it rather hastily with the expectation that I wouldn't have to duel it for a heck of a long time. Otherwise, maybe I would have done it a little bit better. Wowzers, we've got a lot of passengers waiting over here. I did not expect the demand for the Great Western Railway to be quite so high. I know it seems absurd saying, 3 people, high demand. But that is quite high. All right, we're carrying 2 passengers a pop between London and Luton. I mean, is that profitable? Also, what is this line going to be called? This will be called the Wales to Luton Steel. Sure. As ever, my naming conventions are exceptional, really. London to Luton is the least unprofitable of the new routes. Is that really saying something? I don't know. 4 passengers? I mean, that's a personal best, really, I would imagine. That's not half bad. Hopefully we'll start to see demand on the passengers go down. Because I would be quite happy to delete the London to Luton route, to be honest. Or maybe just like half the carriages that are actually on it. Because the bus stops still serve a purpose. 6 out of 24. 8 people? Oh my good golly goodness. Ah, this is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, I hear you say. Absolutely fantastic. How's the East Coast Main Line train doing? 14 out of 18 passengers. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Via King's Cross, 21 passengers. So it seems like adding St. Pancras right next door. Alright, so you got a problem. And you got a problem. Alright then. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. We need to fix this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a little siding over here. Actually, no, I'm not, because I am unbelievably broke. And I would love to create a little siding. The reason that I'm broke is because it has been a cruel year. It's been a cruel year, and I'm very unprofitable at the moment. Very, very unprofitable at the moment. My goodness me, I would love to fix this situation. Maybe the Luton train could bring in a little bit more cash. How is King's Cross? How is King's Cross making so much money? We need more. We need more people on that. We need more people on that. We need more carriages on that train. All right. Well, I mean, this is I don't want to say that it's pretty close to an emergency situation, but if we can't get our steel transportation set up, then that is a straight up problem. Also, we can probably ditch the. Where is it? Steel route Wales to Luton. Yeah. Let's get these guys to go to a depot. Cardiff Road Depot and Oxford Road Depot, sure. Head on over to there and we'll maybe either sell those trucks or reassign them to something else. Yeah. Alright. Alright, come on. Okay, alright. I think that, honestly, the government is going to decide relatively rapidly indeed, I would hasten to add, very, very swift decision-making process that they have, that in order to ensure that essential transportation of steel is able to proceed, that Orbital Potato Transport Incorporated needs extra money, literally like 10k, not even that, to be honest. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this, that, and that. And what do you know? That will fix literally all of our issues, which is fantastic. The steel route Wales to Luton should be reducing in steel as it slowly gets transported across to Cardiff Central, and we should see a heck of a lot of utilized production now, which is great. Really, really happy with that. All right, so that's one siding that we've made over there. Can we make another siding at some point? Kind of want to. I'm gonna make a siding over here. It's a temporary situation. It's gonna be changed. We're gonna have to dual this track. I'm aware of this. How did that happen? Yeah, I'm aware of this. I just didn't think that it would. I just didn't think that things would be as buzzing as they actually are. Can you believe that? I underestimated demand, and I underestimated demand significantly. All right. Get that over there, that over there. Right, fantastic. Okay, let's have a little check up on our Luton service. 8 out of 24 people. 17 people are going to Luton from London. All right, and now it's down to only 9 passengers. That's pretty darn good. I mean, the profitability of the route is going to be damaged for sure, but that's not really a problem. I do believe that passengers have different ways of enjoying to travel. So some passengers will opt to take the quickest route, others will opt to take the cheapest. And so it just depends, really. So I think that there is a place for a bus service. Whether it's a bus service that has as many coaches on as it currently does, I don't know about that. I do not know about that. I don't think so, to be honest. Goodness, this Luton train is just absolutely bringing in the dollars, bringing in the big ones. It's absolutely fantastic. How's my little siding system going? I think it is going very, very well. You're waiting for a free path. You got 12 people. That's fine. Hold on. Where are you going next, actually? If I just have a little look at the routes, it goes Cardiff and then it goes back to Paddington. I mean, to be honest, after Cardiff, we should probably just add Bristol again. And then Swindon. And then Oxford. Then Reading. And then Paddington. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Cardiff Steel Mill is overflowing with production at the moment. Well, that's totally fine, because we will be fixing that in a bit. All right. Where's that train? The train is over here. The steel train is over there. And I'm going to put a signal right there, so that we can let the Luton train go and continue to make us money, because the steel train is still a ways out. Man, I'm really, really happy with this layout. I'm not super happy with the fact that my profits are in the dump at the moment. They're in a very, very bad place. However, I think that everything is going to get sorted. That government funding, that intervention was both necessary and greatly appreciated. And already you can see, look at that. Look at that line. If I was a government investing in infrastructure, and we were consistently getting like 75% capacity on a train, I would say that that's a job well done, to be honest. Yeah, it's not half bad. Right, London to Luton has only got 2 passengers there. I think that it's getting to the point where we say, yep, you know what? You guys have done a great job. Let's shift all of the carriages to the road depot. I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to reassign them all to different routes. I mean, there's still a bunch of passengers waiting for the Cambridge to Luton route. In fact, maybe that's what we do. Maybe we just reassign them all from Cambridge to Luton. It looks like the Cambridge to Luton route at the moment is in desperate need of some more carriages. So I think that we very well might do that. How much money did we just make from steel over there? I think that was 124k. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. All right, we should see demand go up just a little bit more for the Luton to London train, given that we now do not have any other way for Luton residents to arrive in London. This is great. This is very, very good. Ah, this makes me very, very happy. Presumably, we should have a lot more tool production, given that we're bringing in a heck of a lot more steel. I say a heck of a lot more steel. We've not brung in that much steel. We brung in one thing of steel. All right. There's going to need to be a signal right here for a little bit. Yeah, I do need to jewel a whole bunch of track, but that needs to be done when we make a little bit of money. I mean, look, this is 1858. This is a prime year for us to make money. There we go. Stick that in there. We're gonna make so much money this year. It's gonna be unbelievable. Oh, come on. Can you not go? Yes, you can. There you go. Fantastic. I mean, yeah, very, very temporary setup, but in actuality, I think it will work. It'll work for what we need it for. It'll work to get a little bit of extra steel through the door, which is quite nice. The Great Western Rail journey has still yet to make any money. The steel run still hasn't made any money. The London to Luton route hasn't made any money either. I'm kind of a little bit perturbed as to how that route has yet to make any money. Not over the moon about that, to be honest, but that's fine. That's whatever, I guess. Can I have a little look at the Cambridge Road Depot? We've got 4 more incoming carts, but that's fine. These carts in here can be reassigned to the Cambridge to Luton route. There we go. Get them all assigned there. And with that, they should be able to pick up the extra slack on that route, and you know, maybe we can think about introducing a Luton to Cambridge train. I'm sure there is an actual historic train route, but that'll be definitely a different that'll definitely be a different line. Okay, 5 passengers over there. Yeah, how is it that we're not making any money on that train route? I suppose we haven't really done that much transportation. 10 and a bit K, that's not too bad. Honestly, we should probably start introducing longer passenger trains. There's just no reason not to. If we've got the capacity, we might as well. Also, something else that we need to consider, we now absolutely can do a Luton machine factory to London, well, whatever this is, the London cargo terminal. We can definitely do a route delivering the machines to that area. I mean, we still have lorries delivering them to the central London goods depot, but there's no reason not to do a bulk load with the train. That to me sounds like a great idea. Thanks for watching, folks. It's been a bit of an interesting episode to put together, this one. As I'm sure you can probably tell, it's a little bit interesting, it's a little bit fancy, a little bit jazzed up. I really want to try and sort of push the boat out with each of these Transport Fever episodes. It's really, really important to me that I continue to sort of push the boundaries of what I'm capable of. In terms of making an engaging and interesting video, it's a personal challenge. I appreciate that might mean that occasionally the videos might take a little bit a little bit longer than I would like them to, but thank you for bearing with, and I hope you find the result worthwhile. I would be as ever grateful for your comments down in the comments down below. So if you've got anything to say, please do let me know. As I say, thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.